Welcome to our Devos this week. We're going to look at the dark subject of the spirit of Antichrist. We've been covering signs of the times. And one of the signs is this idea of the spirit of Antichrist, which we know the Antichrist in Scripture is a world leader that rises up, promotes peace over the entire world, and is inevitably possessed by Satan himself. He makes a treaty with the nation of Israel, which he reneges upon, and then he goes after them to eliminate all of God's people, including all of the Jewish people, in one final climactic battle. Now, that's the person of the Antichrist. But in the Scriptures, there's what's spoken of as the spirit of Antichrist, which has a lot more in-depth understandings connected to it. Because the spirit of Antichrist is alive and well today. It's not necessarily something that is just connected to that leader, but it's in the way this leader is going to behave. And we see some of these things happening right now. Because in Scripture, we're told the spirit of Antichrist is at work even in this present age. So let's take a look at one of the characteristics of the spirit of Antichrist. The spirit of Antichrist does not acknowledge Jesus Christ. The spirit of Antichrist does not acknowledge Jesus Christ. Literally anti, the opposite. Now, why do I say this is so important? This is one of the most practical things that I could ever share with you, okay? You are living in a world right now that is extremely religious. There are tons of religions that you can adopt and connect to. There are tons of different belief systems and books and sacred writings. But if they do not acknowledge Jesus Christ as the center, they are of the spirit of the Antichrist, literally satanic, demonic evil. Look at what John says, and we talked about this a little bit last week. 1 John chapter 4, verse 2. He says, "By this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. And every spirit that does not confess that Jesus is not from God." So he says, the spirit that says that Jesus is from God and has come in the flesh, that is the true spirit of God. However, anything that does not confess that is the opposite. He says, this is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you heard was coming and now is in the world already. You have to recognize, I have to recognize that there are a lot of things that seem good. Oh, that seems really good. Like it's kind of benign. Like it's no big deal. And we'll get wrapped up into certain things. When in reality, we may be promoting something that is demonic, that has the spirit of Antichrist connected to it. And this is like kind of a signifier of the signs, that we see this spirit of Antichrist. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Here's how you know the spirit of Antichrist is alive and well. I'm not trying to pick on any particular thing, okay? But I have, our kids are in a school, okay? And we get notifications about different religious festivals for other holidays. And, they talk about different things for the Muslim faith and different, other festivals and different things to observe. Guess what they don't talk about in our school? You guessed it. Easter, Christmas. Those things are not mentioned. Holidays are mentioned. Spring break is mentioned, but Easter is not. How can a religious festival for the Muslim faith be mentioned expressly with no political backlash? But if somebody gets up and talks about the resurrection, or if somebody talks about Easter, or talks about Christmas and the virgin birth, why does that cause a problem? Because there is only, listen to me, and I don't care if you're listening to this and it's offensive, there is only one true God. All of those other gods that lead you away from Christ are of the Antichrist. I want you to understand. They're not just, you can believe whatever you want. No, it's of the Antichrist. It's evil, it's demonic, and it's taking you away from Christ. Where Christ is not the center, Christ coming in the flesh is not the center. It's the spirit of Antichrist. Anything that does not promote. So you say, well, there's like 3,999 other religions. Good, there's 3,999 other opportunities to be wrong, and only one. Jesus says, I am the only way. Anything that promotes that Jesus is not the only way is the spirit of Antichrist. The end times, you'll see this more and more. The idea of Jesus being the only way, it sounds bigoted, it sounds exclusive, it sounds phobic in some way, but it is truth. Jesus is the only way. He died for the sins of the world. He died to save the world from their sins. Only through Christ coming in the flesh could we have reconciliation with God. Anything that promotes that Jesus is not the only way is Antichrist.